All right, we're going to jump in. We're talking today. I'm Tracy Napotnick from Salontraining.com. Salontraining.com is a directory. We call it the Beauty Professionals Toolbox. And what that means, it's everything that your beauty professional would need as a toolbox, such as education that is live, in person, pre-recorded, free, paid, anything like that. There's also shows and events on salontraining.com. There are job listings, contests, nominations, helping the community. It's a really cool site. So if you haven't got a chance to look at it, it's now open. So you're able to look through it, and then we'll continue to grow. So if you're watching this on day one, this is our interview with Donna. You may have already have been in there if you see this a year later or whatever, but I am I'm so excited to be interviewing Donna Hogg, and I'm going to let her tell you all about who she is, and then I'm going to jump in and ask her some questions, and then she has some tips for you today about building a great foundation. So welcome, Donna.
Well, thank you so much, Tracy. I'm excited to be here. So
cool. Can you tell me a little bit about when you started in the beauty industry and what that looked for you when you started?
Oh, okay. Well, I started my junior and senior year in high school. I went to a vocational high school, and I was licensed 2 weeks after graduation in 1974. And I had all these dreams of wanting to help people feel beautiful. And it was very, very challenging in those days because you didn't hear a lot about a lot of different classes and so forth. And I fell in love with working with trichoanalysis. I got a job with the Scolaries in a small town it was Haddonfield, New Jersey. And I learned trichoanalysis, where I would look at hair underneath a microscope, and that opened my eyes to a whole new field. Learning the foundation of what hair was made of and how it reacted to different things that we do in the salon, whether it's bleaching the hair, coloring the hair, perming the hair, cutting the hair. If you cut it on, you flip your fingers the wrong way, then the hair acts weird. It flips out on you, and so forth. All of that had to do with the structure of the hair. Cutting curly hair was different than cutting straight hair. All of that came down to the hair structure, and that just fascinated me, and how products act on the hair, and that you need a more acidified product on limp hair, and you need a heavier coating product on coarse hair. And all of that was just so fascinating to me. And I think that foundation of what to use on the hair, how to work a chemical on the hair, that has always been with me. And then through the years, I ended up here in Texas. I worked many different jobs back in the 70s, and this was long before the internet, before we had we could learn from other trainers. And I only had my bosses, and they would bring in trainers, and it would just fascinate me. Dwight Miller, they brought in Dwight Miller. I got a lot of training through Redken at the time. They were the big science people at the time, and the Redken seminars were just fascinating to me. And I would go fangirl over all the different educators that they would have. I would volunteer to be a model just so I could go to the shows, and I would get to be backstage with everyone. And I fell in love with that part of the industry.
For any of you guys have never volunteered to be a model behind a show, I think anybody in the beauty industry should do it once. It is crazy, fun, exciting, educational, all of the above.
Yes. Yeah. I was very blessed to work with some of the great people in the industry back in the 70s and 80s. And the mid 80s brought a lot of changes in my life, and I ended up just joining the Army for something different. I needed a lot more discipline in my life, and just needed to do something different. And I worked in drug and alcohol addiction counseling in the Army, and came out and ended up here in Texas and met up with some people here at my synagogue who happened to own a beauty school. And that's how I ended up teaching.
Wow.
I walked into that beauty school and smelled that perm solution, and I was home. I knew I was home, and I didn't leave. I stayed there, and I've been teaching there now for a little over 20 years. Last year, I had a traumatic accident where I slipped and fell, hit my head and rolled forward and broke my neck, and couldn't move from the shoulders down. And I've gained back a lot of movement, but I'm still quadriplegic. And my hands don't work the way that they used to. I don't feel things. I can't hold a pair of scissors. I can't feel the hair anymore. And that was my magic, being able to feel the hair. But the magic is really up in here, that I'm able to teach other people when they feel the hair dry and when they feel the hair wet, what they feel can tell them things, because the hair used to talk to me, and now I'm able to teach others how to have the hair talk to them. And that, I think, that communication is a strong foundation. So being able to teach that is what I'm looking forward to.
I'm going to recap on something. So
Mhm.
you said, you were in the beauty industry, and then you went to the
Yeah.
Army.
Yes.
And you smelled some perm solution. No, but I get that. I did that with nails. When I'd smell acrylic, I'm like, I feel home. And I don't do nails, but it just made me feel at home. So I totally get the perm solution.
Yes.
And then I met you at Mentors and Masters, which I
Yes.
think anybody that's in the beauty professional that's a trainer, coach, educator, or salon owner or a manager should definitely attend this in November. It's with Nikki Lee.
Absolutely.
And Gino Sampor. It is, I know, if you see it, you might read it and just skip over it. You can't skip over it, guys. It's amazing. You can network with people, you're going to meet amazing people like Donna, first of all, and the education is just outstanding. We have to be better owners. We have to be better leaders, and they really help you at Mentors and Masters. And then you said that you started teaching at the beauty school. And then whenever I first saw one of your videos, going back to when you said about the hair structure and really understanding what the hair is, I think, maybe others have felt this way too, but I think I lost that part of it. Like you went to school, you learned all of that, but then you never really talk about that anymore. You learn how to color, you learn how to do this, and you're kind of in a routine, but the foundation sometimes gets lost, where we forget the chemical part. And I remember watching a video of yours, and you had big posters and you had like pictures of hair, and I was hooked. I was like, oh my, that is like incredible information of how you talked about it and how your presentation was outstanding, because you really made people understand it that were even seasoned hairdressers, let alone people that you were teaching, that are just starting out. So I commend you, and you have so much talent. And then you said were you on a trip? You
Yes,
on a vacation, right?
Camping trip. Yeah.
It was
we were celebrating Feast of Tabernacles. It's one of the biblical feasts. It's that too is a strong foundation for me, because without that foundation in my life and the way that I praise the creator of the universe and give him credit for everything is my foundation. And that's what made me so successful at school. Um, my husband and I, we've been married for 30 some odd years, 38 years.
Wow.
So,
and you guys were there together with some friends, and then
yes,
you fell, correct?
yeah, I slipped and fell and hit my head, rolled forward, and it broke the C5, the fifth cervical bone in my neck. And so from the spinal cord was torn there, and it's not a complete tear, so it wasn't. I'm able to get back a lot of function, and I have gained so much more function than they expected me to. So, but every spinal cord injury is different, and some people with my same level of injury are up and walking and riding bicycles, and others are still in bed and not able to move, just moving their toes. So I am fortunate that I have use of my arms and hands. I don't have full use of my
You didn't
fingers.
at first, though, correct? You didn't.
No, I did not. No.
You've been really hustling with getting yourself to that point, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I had
taking a
5
lot of work. We can see your
Yeah.
videos, and I'm sure that's only a piece of what you're actually going through.
Yeah, I post a little bit on Facebook, but it's just a small part of the work that I have to do, because you have to keep doing it or you lose it. You know, if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards. So I have to keep moving forward, and that helps me to keep a positive attitude towards the growth, and that positive attitude stretches into other things. It generalizes into other parts of my life where I'm able to keep a positive attitude about many different things. You know, one of them being my career. You know, that I am able to finish building my studio and start working as an independent educator on Salontraining.com, as well as starting to create a library of YouTube videos, and whether it be on YouTube or in Olaplex Classroom. I'm still an active Olaplex advocate, and always will be, because that is a foundation. That was the biggest change to come in the industry since the cold wave, in my opinion, because we couldn't fix disulfide bonds before, and now we can. And that's a big foundation, because we couldn't do that before.
There's so many more beautiful blondes since Olaplex came around. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yes, there is.
You are one of the most inspirational, not to get savvy or anything like that, but truly, Donna, you are one of the most inspirational people that I think I've ever met, listening and watching your stories, because you don't give up. You are fighting for everything that you love. You're fighting to stay back in the beauty industry. You're working on your programs. You're getting stronger with your accident. And from what we see, and we see a happy, smiling face. And even talking to you, anytime that I've talked to you on our phone calls or anything else, it's you're still so encouraging, and you're so amazing. And I can't wait to see what you're going to actually be teaching here, you know, on your own programs, or with us, or with anybody. What are some of the things that people can look forward to that you're going to be helping beauty professionals whenever you start your studio and open it? And what are you going to be teaching?
Well, trying to think of the different classes that I've got.
You have
the dog barking in the background kind of threw me, because I'm annoyed, but I can't stop from barking.
Everybody, you know what? I used to think, whenever doing videos, I remember my best friend, she would create videos she's in the health industry, and she said, well, I record them because I don't want to, mess up. This is before live. I think live was just coming out. She said, I don't want to jump on that journey yet, because I want to make sure everything's perfect and there's no light, the lighting's good and my conversation's good and I don't stumble on a word or something like that. And now she goes live because she's been doing it. She's so much better live because I could just kind of roll with it. And, whenever I was coaching different salons and training and stuff like that, I made the students go live in a Facebook group that weren't used to going live. We just created a private one. Always, it was just me and them or whatever. And I said, just go live, you're live. You're going to have I love the fact you have dogs in the background. It shows you as a person. We all have.
Yes.
I had a cat sitting on my lap a couple minutes ago that ran across here that I was hoping didn't unplug my cords. I was homeschooling my kids the last round on version 1 that I'm like, I got to stop and I got to go here. And this one's yelling and they were home and it's life. And I love the fact that, just be natural, it's just so cool. So.
Yeah, our neighbors' goats come over to our front yard and like to eat our grass. So that's what the dog is barking at. And the other one wants to go out and bark at the goats outside. So she's right here next to me. So it's all very distracting.
Yeah.
But I just didn't make it outside to the studio today. So
all good. Well, so we're going to get into the tips that you're talking about today. So when someone is coming into the beauty industry, if they're watching this and they need the foundations, or even if someone is struggling with something or have been a seasoned stylist, going back to the foundations, what are you going to be talking? Like, can you tell us a little bit about your tips for building a great foundation?
Well, what I like to do with building this foundation is go back to, like, if they're having trouble with someone's hair, for instance, and it won't, there was somebody that was talking about yesterday on one of the forums where her client has just grown out her hair after having had chemo, and now she has all new virgin hair. And she was baffled as to why this light colored hair would not take direct dye. And could not figure out, and I was reading all the different comments. Oh, well, it's chemo hair and that's why it won't take color. It's virgin hair, so it's real slick. You've got to rough it up. So put some peroxide on it. That'll expand the cuticle. And if we go back to the foundation of, okay, what is peroxide? Peroxide is acidic. It's not going to expand the cuticle. It's extremely acidic, so it's going to burn pinholes in the cuticle. Yeah, it'll take the direct dye, but you've now damaged that hair beyond, and now it's going to create more porosity. So yeah, it'll grab that direct dye, but it's also going to let go of it really quickly. So what else could we do to that hair to make it accept that direct dye? How can we help that client? Because that's what it all boils down to, is how do we help that client? Well, we can't use bleach on it because she just got done chemo, so her skin is sensitive. So
is there a time frame if someone does go through chemo to be doing bleach after? I know,
generally speaking, depends on the person and the type of chemo that they had, but generally speaking, 9 months to a year, sometimes up to 2 years. It depends on how sensitive their scalp is. But you could give them direct dye on their hair, on their scalp, even by expanding that cuticle with an alkaline shampoo. Take something like Malibu Sea's Undo Goo. That has a pH of 8 or 9, a pH of 9. Well, that will expand the cuticle enough and it's not going to irritate the scalp because they are gentle cleansers in there. Okay, so rather than using Tide or Dawn dishwashing liquid that will dry out their scalp and irritate the scalp on this sensitive scalped person, you can still expand the cuticle by leaving that undue goo capped under the dryer for like 20 minutes. Rinse it off, and towel dry, apply your direct dye, and it'll stay because you've expanded that cuticle. And then you can acidify the hair afterwards with one of the even the direct dyes are more acidic anyway. They're in a conditioner base, so that'll hold that hair in. And then just put some direct dye into some Olaplex #3 or something for them, or some whatever conditioner you have. Just turn it into a colored conditioner with your empty some out of the bottle and put some direct dye in and shake it up, and then you've got a color bomb.
Nice. The company that I was using before, they discontinued a product that was very similar, as far as not the Olaplex, but similar to putting it in with a conditioner. It was really fun. And that, I don't know if you saw my video the other day of my daughter putting my hair up in like all these different things. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. It was a conditioner, and it was so red, and then it was pink, and then it fades out. And then I knew if I went swimming in our chlorine pool, it would come out a lot quicker. So that's the fun thing with those particular ones. So I remember hearing the Olaplex to do that, and you know what? And I did not do that myself. So that as you see, I'm writing a lot of notes. So I'm going to be doing that too. Cool. Okay, so the foundation you're talking about
chlorine in your hair,
but that's
especially after doing chlorine in your hair. That's one of the other classes that I have. It's the glob that ate Manhattan, but because that's what chlorine does to the cuticle of the hair, is it eats the cuticle. Literally, it just dissolves it. And between chlorine and ultraviolet light, it can really do a number on the hair fiber. And that's one of the other classes that I have, so that you have a foundation of an understanding of what these different things do to the hair, so then you can help your clientele. And I try to teach all this with my students, and I try to make it fun so that they can remember it. That's why I call it the glob that ate Manhattan, because when you see under the microscope what chlorine can do to the hair, it reminds me of that B movie that I saw a long time ago, The Glob That Ate Manhattan. So
we're gonna have to look at that.
Even with teaching foundational things in hair school or beauty college, is going back to finger waves. Oh, everybody, they were terrorized by finger waves, right? And I loved finger waves. I didn't love them when I was a student. Didn't love them at all, because the stuff that we had to put on the hair to do it, we called it elephant snot in school, because it was gross, and but I love doing finger waves now, and I teach them that it's like doing a line dance, and we have a little dance that goes with it, and the same with doing pin curls and so forth, because once you get it is like magic to do a finger wave, because once a student realizes that they can move and mold hair with just their fingers and a comb, and they can move that hair, then they know without a shadow of a doubt that they can do anything with that hair. So learning how to mold hair is the foundation of becoming a hairdresser, because dressing hair is what Francesca Ravetti does. What Gretchen Morer does. All these, Sharon Blaine, all these famous dressers of hair. What's his name? can't think of his name, but he's big name in the industry, out in California now, but he's English. I can't think of his name, but a big dresser of hair. It all starts with being able to do the basic finger wave, the basic pin curl, the basic roller set, knowing to put one clip in and where to put the clip, that it doesn't go across the stem. It goes on the curl. It's a pin curl, not a pin stem, and all of those foundational principles are what are important to being able to dress hair like Francesca Rabetti and be a Naha candidate. You can't do Naha if you can't do pin curl. Mm-hmm. So that's what being a hairdresser is all about, and having fun with it. I want to show you something that came in the mail just the other day. I'm so excited about it. It is the You Can Be Anything Barbie. She has blue hair.
Nice. Love it.
See her in there. She has blue hair. She's got a lab coat on with a microscope. That's me.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love
My
it.
hair isn't quite blue. I didn't make it to the hair salon before this interview. Just didn't have time. So
you look beautiful. But we have some comments saying that you look beautiful right now too. Oh, Nicholas French. Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, Nicholas French.
Thanks, yes. Misty.
Yeah, thank you, Misty. Thank you. Yeah, and is that Misty that she was Francesca's student? She wants to be a Naha candidate. Well, it all starts with the pin curl.
Yeah.
It all starts with the finger wave. It all starts with learning how to mold that hair and understanding that fiber and what it can do and what happens to it when we put chemicals and other products on it. That some products are going to make it go this way and other products are going to make it go that way and do these things and that thing. And having an understanding like that, a foundation like that, is what allows you to build your dream castle. And if your dream castle is Naha, great. If your dream castle is behind the chair, to be the one shot, then you've got to learn the foundation of that it all has to do with the shot, the camera shot, getting that in there. If you don't have that foundation in there, then it's not going to happen for you. So you have to build that foundation first, and everything else goes on top. So
I was reading some of the comments, and Francisca said, I like when she says this before, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
Right, exactly.
Yes. And so you have a lot of good information that you've already shared with our listeners today. And so we'll share this on YouTube later. We'll create that in a podcast and stuff too. But I'm looking forward to doing more interviews with you and seeing your classes, because you have such a wealth of knowledge for whether you've been in the beauty industry. I was taking notes like crazy for some of the stuff that you were talking about that I should know. And, we kind of forget some of that stuff along the way. And so going back to the foundation is your message, going back and learning what you learned in beauty school. And if you don't remember what you learned in beauty school, because I was in 10th grade as well, going back to find a trainer like yourself that can teach them, finger wave class would be great. I think, honestly, I think it'd be great for yeah. A little extra.
I don't know if I can do it yet. I haven't even put my hands to a mannequin yet.
Yeah. Well, even just the stuff that you're saying, like what products to use, that is helpful. And going back into the structure of the hair, I think out of anything today that we talked about, that was like my biggest aha from you, is going back to the foundation of just looking at the hair and, all of that. I love what you had to say. So when do we look forward to, you think, doing some of your classes? And, obviously I know you're still doing your studio, and sometimes I don't know, if you're just waiting for that particular thing studio to make it perfect. I think your information is so valuable now.
Yeah.
You know, you think in a couple
Well,
months or so?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hoping before the end of the year that I'll have my first class up there. There'll be video classes or live classes. Helping someone right now that she had online beauty school the entire time. She's just been doing online for her license, and the online school didn't give her very much direction as far as how to take her state board exam. So I'm going to be working with that, and I just may do some of them live,
Okay.
just to give the site some traction, because I'm excited about salon training, and so I may do some live Zoom classes there, and have it open so that anyone through the state can learn from it. And that is going to be a basic free class. I'm not charging for it. It's free because I want to see these students that didn't have the opportunity to go in person, be able to get licensed. Because once you get that license, taking a test is not being a hairdresser. Whether you get a 70 or you get a 99 or a 100, either way you get your license. And I think I'm able to help people get licensed, and from there they can then build on their foundation that they got. So that was one of my strong suits, was building a tutorial, and it is to 100% of, they can conceivably get 100% on their practical exam. It's been finessed over the years. So
Will that be in general, or be that for the state of Texas? Every state has different licenses.
Yeah, because it'll be different for every state. So this is only for the state of Texas.
Okay.
I am not an expert for every state by any means. Texas is it, and I noticed a lot of different YouTube videos, and they're not quite to 100%. There are some very good ones that give some very good direction, but they are not quite to 100% of the exam. I wanted to, at least from the guidance that I received. Mm-hmm. So I guess that might be opinionated, because we don't get a chance with in Texas for to go in and work with the evaluators to see what exactly they're looking for. I can only go by what my students tell me when they come back, and what guidance I have been given by the PSI coordinators as to how we should train our students. And they basically say, what does the book say? What does the book say? If the book says this is how you create a section, then that's the way that I'm going to train my students. If this is how this is how you create a section.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to just share my screen here a second. I'm going to go on here, and I'm just going to show you guys where you can find Donna and other trainers. So again, we just had our soft opening today, which means our site is now open. So you can go into, if you're looking for Donna, you can go right up here to trainers. Mm-hmm. And you can type in her name. You can type in, if you're looking for Texas people to help you, if you're looking for foundation, if you're looking for state board, if you're looking for, you'll have yourself underneath here. So let me type in Donna. Donna, we finished yours, correct? I think I have all your stuff.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, there I am.
Okay. So hair structuring, chemistry.
I hope I finished my write-up. I don't remember.
Yes, so everybody watching, if bear with us if you're seeing this today. Today is just opening, so we know we're going to go back in and do some edits for some people and her stuff too. But you can find Donna on her Facebook, her Instagram. You can email her, and you can find out more about her in her thing here. And then if you're looking for any of the classes that she may be posting here in the next couple months, or anybody else, you can see that there's virtual classes, there's going to be in-person classes. If you're seeing this a couple months from now live, there'll be a lot more on here than what we're showing you today, of course. So you can jump on salontraining.com and check it out. So I'm going to stop the share here because there's, wait a second. Okay, also, you know what? I'm just going to do something real quick too. We have much more than the trainers and classes. We also have job listings, shows, products, marketplace, contests. There's a give back program. And we are going to be doing a fundraiser for Donna coming up here real soon. And it is going to help with wheelchair ramp in the back, along with other people in our industry that may or may not be going through something. And we all go through something at some time in our lives. And then we'll also have a contest that I cannot wait to show you. So there is a color contest. Donna, you always had the funnest color. I love your color. You usually have purple, blue, different ones. That's pretty awesome. I think I met you as purple. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think I was like a purpley colored, purpley blue.
Purpley blue, cool.
Yeah.
So one of the ones that we're starting out with is our pro contest and student contest. So there'll be before and after photos that you'll be able to do. So we're going to start that in about 21 days that this will go live. And we look forward to having you guys on salontraining.com. Sign up. You can also, if you are not on our Facebook and you're seeing this on our YouTube, we highly suggest that you join our Facebook group, which is salontraining.com, the Beauty Professionals Toolbox, because a lot of the trainers will also be posting it in there. And then we'll have free different content going on as well in that group too, and all kinds of stuff. So thank you, Donna, for joining us today. I appreciate it so much.
I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk with you about what I want to present on salontraining.com and what I want to bring to my students at my school. I mean, I'm still working with my students at Central Texas Beauty College in Temple, and we have a campus in Round Rock as well. And I just love working for the painters. I've been working for them, and they've been my good friends for 21 years now. And nice. I can't imagine working anywhere else. They're just fabulous people. Mr. Painter passed away recently, but Marie and Mr. Painter's daughter, Jennifer, run the school, and Edith, the manager. She's been with the school since it opened. She started there as an instructor, and she is now the manager of the school, or the director of the Temple campus. And I really enjoy working with it. We have a great teaching team. We love working together. And I can't imagine,
it makes a big difference if you work somewhere that you love and you enjoy and they respect you. And I think I
have a great team that I work with that I'm looking forward to working with them again once I'm able to drive. Because I just can't drive anymore right now. It's a little hard to lift my wheelchair into the truck, and well, you can't quite drive when you don't have hands that work. But I'm looking forward to one day being able to do that, and that's when I can be in person again. Because I live a little too far away. So.
Well, thank you for being an inspiration to the beauty industry, to your students, to salontraining.com, and all the trainers that you share all their posts all the time. We thank you so much for being part of it. And we will put on, whenever we do this YouTube video, we're going to put your information on the back of the video too. So anybody that wanted to reach out to you can find you there or on salontraining.com. All right, we're sounding out. We will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.